Hey guys, welcome back to another fishing video with Paxton. Today I'm going to be explaining to you guys what each lure does, what water column it works in, and what species it can catch. Getting right into it, we're going to go with top water first. We're going to start off with the whopper plopper. So this is a propeller style bait. It usually looks like this, but I'm pretty sure it's Guggen. It's the middle part that has the spinner on it, and this has a little cup on it, and it floats on the top of the water, and that spins, and it makes a plopping noise. These are good for top water. That's what they are made for, and you can't throw it really in vegetated areas because of the treble hooks on it. It will snag a bunch, unlike our next lure, the frog. The frog is made for thick matted weeds floating on top of the surface, lily pads, really any vegetation that species might be, like what you're going for, might be hiding under. And these are good for like bass, pike, what else? That's all that I can really think of right now. But going back to the top waters with treble hooks, this is a popper. So I don't actually have a walk the dog style lure, but that's basically what it is. Just it like scoops water. Like every time you jerk it, it goes pop, 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 giving the name the plopper. That's like the whopper plopper that you can't throw in vegetated areas as much because of the treble hooks. Next, we're getting into my new lures I like to start fishing, Swimbaits, and we're starting off with this glide bait I have this bluegill glide bait. There's 3 different variations of glide baits you can get. You can get sinking, or slow sinking, fast sinking, and floating. I'm pretty sure this one's a slow sinking, but what you get depends on how you fish it. Like fast sinking is made for deeper water, probably from anywhere from 10 to 20 feet. Slow sinking probably from 10 to 3, and then floating, it's basically just the top water. Next, we're getting into these like pre-rigged boot tail swim baits. This one looks like a shad. You can really fish these however. You can hop them off the bottom, make them look like a dying shad on the bottom, burn them across the top, or even just slow reel them through the middle. It just depends on your weight and how fast you're reeling your reel. And then next is just like Strike King, like for H swimmers, like baits like that. I like those ones a lot because you can rig them however you want. You can belly weight them. You can get the belly weights with the little spinners on the bottom. You can Texas rig them. You can jig head rig them. You can put them as trailers on your spinner baits and chatter baits, swim jigs. You can really use those however you want. Next, we have the chatter bait. So the chatter bait is kind of like the pre-rigged swim bait. You can burn it across the top but through the middle of the water column, controlling the reeling. But unlike the pre-rigged swim bait, you can't hop it along the bottom, making it look like a dying fish. Because this blade on the front of it wiggles back and forth, making vibrations in the water when you're reeling it, triggering the bass to bite. And it lets them know that that is there, and it makes them think it's a struggling bait fish. Next, we have spinner baits. This is a KVD spinner. There's 2 types of spinners. There's willow blades, which are like these ones, the long pointy ones, and then I forgot what the other ones are called, but they're round. These ones put out more vibration and flash, but for the cost of hookup ratio, because if the willow blade's back here and it's big, and it's gonna affect that bite, the bass or any fish trying to bite that little shad swimming below it, or whatever bait fish or colors you have. It's gonna affect the hookup ratio. Next is a swim jig. Honestly, I don't know how to fish a swim jig. I don't ever fish a swim jig. I just have this in case some point in time I need to throw a swim jig. But yeah, next is just your normal jig. This one right now has a Strike King Rage Craw, I think it is on the back of it. These, you can just hop off the bottom, really. That's how you really fish them. Is you can drag it. This skirt will be floated up like that, and you can drag it across the bottom, or you can hop it. So these claws give some action going back down to trigger the bass to bite. Next is jerkbaits. There's multiple different styles of jerkbaits from different brands, different depths, different stuff like. So I don't remember what brand this is. This is a sinking one, and then these two. This is the Husky Jerk from Rapala, and then this is the Provoke from 6 Cents. These two are suspending. So really, suspending ones, you just have to get them down to that depth and work them in there, because that's the depth they're made for, and that's where they're most in the strike zone. These ones, sinking ones, you really have to have forward-facing sonar, I feel like, to fish. There's some kind of sonar, so you can see that bait to make sure you're not gonna hit bottom and just know where it is in the water column. Next, we have our crankbaits. Crankbaits really depend on the depth you have them. So this is just your normal style crankbait with the lip. The lip varies depending on how deep the crankbait will dive. So the bigger the lip, the deeper it's gonna dive. Yeah. Really, it depends where you can fish these at. Like, some are made for really shallow, and some are made for like 20 feet deep water. My dad swears by having that bill dig into the bottom of the pond or lake or wherever you're fishing to send off those vibrations to those fish. But I think you just need to keep it in that strike zone, which is like the middle water column. Really, any lure, like moving reaction lure, you just need to keep it above the bass, because the bass's eyes are, sorry guys, my phone fell. But the bass's eyes are on top of their head, so they can see on top, unlike us with our eyes on front where we can see forward and like to the sides and stuff. They can see on top, like they can see up, like just looking normally. Next, we have a lipless crankbait or a rattle trap. These, you can fish them like a crankbait, or you can fish them hopping them off the bottom. I've seen some guys talking about it where in the middle of the winter and stuff, they'll hop a crankbait on the bottom to make it look like a dying bait fish and make it look like an easy meal for the bass. Next is the jointed crank. So the jointed crank is just like the normal crankbait. Width varies the depth and stuff, but they have this little joint in the middle of them instead of being fully stiff. And this allows them to snake, like, they remind me of snake moving through the water, because they just wobble way far side to side, side to side, side to side. But you can fish that like a normal crankbait. Next is a square bill. This is like a normal crankbait, but made for way shallow. This is made for 1.5 foot of water, I think. These are good for like throwing them by beds or fishing for those fish during the spring up shallow when they're chasing bait fish around. Next is an inline spinner. The inline spinner is really like a chatterbait. It has to be moving to get hit. You can't hop it across the bottom, like, because the blade on it needs to be spinning. Like, that needs to spin to send off that flash and that vibration like the spinnerbait does. And there's multiple different variations and weights and stuff. Like this one, people like to call these rooster tails, from the original rooster tail, with the hair on the bottom of it to hide the hook. I don't know why they did that. But next, getting into spoons. This spoon has these little red things on it, and this one doesn't. These little red things really help it make it look like a bait fish swimming through the water injured. But how these things sway back and forth, it makes them look like it's a hurt bait fish ready to be eaten. And it's just an easy meal for a bass. Next, we're gonna get into some soft plastics I got out. We're not getting, I already talked about swim baits. I don't have any Ned rigs right now, shut up, or heads, but these are some Ned rig soft plastic. Ned rigs, you pop them along the bottom, and you really want to take your time with it. I like to hop it like 1 to 3 times, and then just let it sit for like 30 seconds during winter. I haven't got to fish them during spring yet because I got my first set of them just a couple of weeks ago and already lost them all from snagging. Next is a soft jerk bait or a fluke style bait. I got 2 of them here. I have the Bass Assassin. What are these called? I'm pretty sure this is the shad. The Bass Assassin shad in 5-inch, and then just the Zoom Super Fluke Junior. Flukes, you fish them like a jerk bait, and you can fish them multiple different ways. You can dead stick them, where you just let them sit there and they'll sink if they have salt in them, or just float on the top. You can belly weight them, so when you jerk them, it moves around all frantically, like it's basically just like a jerk bait at that point, just with the different presentation and a little bit more movement. But really, that's it. So that's all the lures that I have, like all the kinds of lures I have. But watch out for my next video here soon. I'm gonna be reviewing this. It's a 6-inch swim bait from Bass Mafia. It's their loaded swimmer in the gizzard shad color. Me personally, I think it looks like a trout. That's why I really got it, because where I live, we have a lot of trout, so it helps a lot. And the pond I'm reviewing, I'm gonna go to review it in. I actually just got trout stocked in it last month, so I'm hoping that those big bass are feeding on the trout to go get some big strikes, some big fish, and just have a good time tomorrow. Yeah, but that's it. So thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below if you have any questions or video ideas. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.